We are the Lowe-Corman family. We live in Houston, Texas. We have two little boys, Ian and Austin. Ian is 4 and Austin will be 2 at the end of August.
Austin is a fairly typical, almost 2-year-old. Very opinionated, enjoys doing a bunch of different stuff, trying to learn things, trying to grow.
Kind of had a rough newborn period, but I think many people do.
Where's Austin?
So we weren't totally concerned until about 6 months old. He was admitted to Texas Children's Hospital because he wasn't gaining enough weight. And that's where they ran genetic testing and they found out that he has a new mutation on the LMNA gene, which results in L-CMD, or LMNA-related congenital muscular dystrophy. Our whole life just totally changed. There's about 50 children diagnosed with L-CMD that are written about in the medical literature. We've since discovered that there's really more,
Are you hamming it up?
closer to about 200 children.
Or essentially a spontaneous or new mutation that neither me or my wife had. So since this doesn't run in the family, there was never really a thought of, oh, it could be a muscular dystrophy, because in my mind, those were always things that, are genetically run in a family, and that's not the case. So
it's a muscle wasting disease. So whatever strength Austin had gained or would gain, he would eventually lose it. There's really no
1, 2, 3,
way of knowing the whole progression because there are so few children. Some children die in infancy, some live into their teenage years, and some even beyond. They told us that there's no treatments and no cures, and just to keep him healthy and as strong as possible for as long as possible. I think one of the main goals, though, is for him, of course, to be as strong and as healthy as possible, and to maintain what muscle and flexibility he already has, but also then to be able to enjoy life.
All right, one more time, then I'm gonna get you down.
initially it was punched in the gut trying to figure out what your new daily life is. Then once you have the day-to-day activities sort of figured out, then you have time and your mind wanders, okay, what is there anything else we can be doing? And I think it just comes down to wanting to put our full effort out there, because if you don't, 5 years or whatever it is down the line, you're going to regret not putting that effort in.
It really was a group of other rare disease parents that was the driving force behind us starting our own nonprofit and embarking upon further researching L-CMD.
Let's see what we can accomplish. Things that we accomplish now is going to make it easier, hopefully, for other parents that have to deal with this later on.
What we discovered was that there are potential areas of research that we should dive into to potentially come up with treatments and a cure for this. But we realized, A, that traditional pharmaceutical companies weren't going to be interested in doing this from scratch, given the small patient population, and also that it wasn't going to be cheap to do all that research. So in terms of raising money, it just made sense to start a nonprofit. So on Valentine's Day of this year of 2021, which was the 1-year anniversary of when we brought Austin home from the hospital with this diagnosis, we informally launched a fundraising campaign called 2 Before 2, which is to raise $2 million before Austin's 2nd birthday on August 27th. We basically asked all of our friends and family to reach out to their networks and their communities and spread Austin's story. And in that first month, I think everybody all together raised almost $500,000. So that was amazing.
The response has been fantastic, and it is overwhelming.
In early July, we reached the $1 million mark of our $2 million goal.
Reach up, reach up.
And
there you go. There you go.
Of course, we're just gonna keep going as far as we can until we get there. And so this $2 million that we're raising in particular is to further a gene therapy project with UMass Medical and the Instituto de Salud Carlos Tres in Madrid, Spain. And
looking good.
We're just gonna try to fund as much of that project as we possibly can to try to get the best preclinical data possible, because unfortunately,
Get my finger. There
these
you go. Good.
clinical trials and everything are
Good reach.
super, super expensive. And so we are just trying to do our small part to push the ball forward as far as we can get it, until we can make enough noise that somebody else is interested and can come in and help us out. We absolutely live one day at a time, and I think what's changed is that we don't look so far into the future as we used to.
The hopes are just that we can find something that at the very least slows the progression of the disease a good amount.
We are hopeful that he will live as long as possible and make some impact on the world. Obviously, he's made an impact on our world. We've learned so much and have grown so much from him. The ultimate goal for the foundation would be to create a therapy and eventually a cure for L-CMD.
The hopes are the same as any other parents. You want to give your kid the best opportunity to succeed. The only way we can do that is by trying to find something that's going to help him.
We need the people, the money, and the time to make it happen.
Good reaching.